Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. The world is on edge as we go to air, with Israel unleashing missile attacks on Hamas targets in Gaza, following yesterday's surprise ambush by Hamas. Well, Tasmanian Premier Jeremy Rockcliffe has joined other leaders in denouncing the Hamas attacks on Israeli civilians, labelling the acts of violence against them as deeply disturbing, adding the state government recognises Israel's right to defend itself against the attacks. He has passed on his deepest condolences to those affected on behalf of all Tasmanians. An inquest into the deaths of 4 Targa competitors who were killed in 2 separate events is due to start in the middle of next year. Targa and Motorsports Australia, as well as Tasmania Police, were present at a case management hearing at the Magistrates Court in Hobart today, each expressing their condolences to the families impacted. Driver error, loss of control, car suspension and stage design are believed to be commonalities in each crash. On the cusp of the referendum vote, the federal opposition leader has made a brief visit to Tasmania, touring a dairy research facility on the northwest coast. Peter Dutton impressed by the national first farmlet trials underway at one of our leading Tasmanian dairy research centres.
The work that they're doing here is making a tangible, positive difference in the lives of farmers, and I think the reality is that we need to make sure that it's properly funded.
The cost of doing business for a farmer is increasing. It's increasing to the point that they're having trouble returning back to their bottom line.
The opposition leader also using the site inspection as another chance to push the no vote ahead of this weekend's decision. The Greens have labelled the draft terms of reference for the inquiry into child sexual abuse allegations regarding Paul Reynolds as inadequate, while Police Minister Felix Ellis says prosecutions may be needed, adding compelling evidence from witnesses isn't the best way to achieve the desired outcome.
We believe in making sure that the independent reviewer has broad scope, broad powers and is able to deliver the best outcome for the Tasmanian people.
The independent review is being conducted by barrister Regina Weiss. State Labor is confident it's cracked the code when it comes to getting new housing developments underway across Tasmania. It says sharing the headworks bill is the way to go, but the state government remains confident its housing achievements are something to be proud of.
For Bob Gordon, building just 2 homes in Bridgewater also meant footing the bill for a rising sewerage main worth $60,000.
Even though it should have been shared amongst all of the blocks of land in the proposed development, we had to pay the lot.
It's a problem seen all too often, according to the opposition, at a time where additional housing is more essential than ever, with 4,600 families on the social housing waitlist.
We've seen many instances like this across the state where the first mover is penalised because they're building homes. We need to remove that.
Its solution to make the cost of connecting power, water and sewerage a shared one between all those developing on the site, not just the first.
The developers would still need to pay the cost of connecting power, water and sewage, but they'd pay that cost at a proportion relevant to the proportion of the development that they are contributing.
Removing the incentive for developers to wait for another party to buy up land first.
For major developers that are doing 400 or 500 blocks, I think they all play a game of chicken, seeing who's going to start first.
But the state government has hit back, saying under its governance, records have been set regarding land release and new homes being built, adding it's always prepared to work with developers.
Our government have now in place a program to bring forward more residential land release and rebates available for developers to assist them with headworks charges.
Whatever the solution, housing affordability isn't an isolated problem, with 570,000 people currently calling our state home. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
The state government has signed an agreement with the Automotive Chamber of Commerce to strengthen Tasmania's industry. The plan will build capability in training, promote pathways and target career awareness programs.
We'll be delivering a better pathway to get more industry skilled and qualified teachers so that we can train the next generation.
There are 1,000 Tasmanians in training in the sector. The health of the Kanamaluka Tamar estuary has been given a boost thanks to a new piece of infrastructure. A 3-kilometre sewage and stormwater pipeline will travel 40 metres under the riverbed, connecting the Margaret Street pump station to the Tea Tree Bend treatment plant.
These new pipeworks will have the capacity to pump more than 900 litres per second. What this means is that TasWater are going to have a much greater ability to safely treat the sewage system.
The government expects the works to finish late next year.
To the Swimming World Cup, and a strong contender is emerging in Hobart's Max Giuliani. The 20-year-old making his debut on the world stage in Berlin overnight, advancing to the 200-metre freestyle final in the first of 3 legs of the Cup, finishing less than half a second behind Lithuanian Danas Rapsis to take silver. Max has a chance to go one better next week in Athens. Our men's and women's hockey sides will fly into the nation's capital, hungry for a win after narrow defeats in the Hockey One opening round. There are positive signs though. Goalkeeper Evie Dalton successfully defending 13 penalty corners in the women's 0-1 loss to Melbourne.
Good evening. Hobart, 18 degrees today. Launceston and Devonport on our high of 20 and Burnie reached 17. Close to average temperatures today apart from the west where it was cooler than normal. Bushy Park and Friendly Beaches 18, Wynyard, Lowhead and Grove 17, St Helens 16, the Bass Strait Islands 14, Strawn just 12 and Lyowini our low with -3 to start the day. Apart from the few showers over the west and far south, the fine sunny conditions continued over the north and east of the state. Some low cloud extended through Bass Strait to the Victorian coast. Some thunderstorms were brewing over northwestern New South Wales and southwest Queensland. Tomorrow the high makes a move, a slow one, over our region, being pushed along by a cold front that will be here with some rain on Thursday. The winds tomorrow 5 to 15 knots from the southwest, tending variable during the day before swinging around to the northwest at 20 knots by evening. Hobart tomorrow a top of 16 and cloudy, 15 the top for Adventure Bay, maybe a shower, and Tarraleah partly cloudy, 15 the maximum after 2 to start the day. 6 to 18 the range for Launceston, partly cloudy, Devonport a top of 17, 5 overnight for Bridport, a top of 16 tomorrow. Burnie expecting 15 and mostly sunny, a possible shower though for Strawn, 15 the top, 15 also for Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow a high of 16 degrees, Swansea 16 and Whitemark on Flinders Island 16. On Wednesday a fine start before light showers develop late evening over the west, and as mentioned showers should extend across the state on Thursday with that cold front, and more isolated showers on Friday, more frequent over the west, so not much falling in the east where it's desperately needed at the moment. Further north and partly cloudy in Perth tomorrow, a sunny 26 in Adelaide, 17 in Melbourne with some cloud cover there, 22 the top in Sydney and a fine sunny 27 for Brisbane. Cloudy conditions in Hobart, it's 12 at the moment, 17 in Launceston, 15 right now in Devonport. And what about that, Kim? Brand new sports presenter Nick Kelly has joined our gang. I don't know if we're going to get on though. He doesn't go for the Sydney Swans, he doesn't go for the New South Wales Blues in rugby league, he doesn't go for Liverpool in the EPL, but we do have one thing in common, we're both voting yes for the Tassie AFL side.
I wondered where you were going to leave that one. Thank you, Merv. And that is all your news for now. We'll have news, sport and weather updates throughout the evening. But for now, it is good night.